7 Russian armored vehicles are firing at a village under Russian control. A Ukrainian T-64BV tank moves into position and aims. With one accurate shot, it destroys a Russian tank, blocking the road for the rest of the convoy. The fight gets more intense. The other Russian tanks turn their guns and fire back. Shells hit the ground near the Ukrainian tank, but it stays in place, and several more armored vehicles quickly. The T-64BV fires again, destroying a BTR-82A and several more armored vehicles quickly. An abandoned Russian T-90 tank is spotted near the front lines. The crew bails out the moment they notice a Ukrainian drone approaching. The drone operator scans the tank, quickly pinpointing the location of its ammunition storage. Without hesitation, the drone dives in. A direct hit. During the battle, many Russian tanks were caught in the open by Ukrainian FPV drones, taking direct hits. At the same time, Ukrainian tanks made fast, intense moves on the battlefield. The Ukrainian military has released multiple videos showing Russian tanks being destroyed one after another. Today, we'll take a closer look at the tactics and techniques used by Ukrainian forces, from drones to tanks, to push back and destroy Russian convoys. Make sure to subscribe for more clear and in-depth analysis of these war strategies. A Ukrainian drone operator from the Shadow Group spotted a Russian T-90M tank on the battlefield in Tonenk village. Moving in with precision, the operator dropped an American-made M67 grenade straight into the tank's turret. Seconds later, a powerful blast erupted, setting the vehicle ablaze. But just moments after the fire broke out, this happened. Another Russian T-90M tank was pushing forward, firing toward Ukrainian positions. In an attempt to escape, it released thick white smoke and tried to hide in an abandoned village. But the Ukrainian drone operator had already locked on. A precise strike hit its mark, and moments later, flames burst out from the tank's turret. And then, this happened. One after another, Russian armored vehicles are being taken out in every way imaginable. Here, an FPV drone chases its target, weaving through the air before landing a perfect hit right on top. The explosion isn't just from the strike itself, it's from the ammunition cooking off inside. Once the fire reaches those shells, the whole vehicle turns into a fireball. It's not a drone at all, it's a direct tank-on-tank engagement. The round punches through the armor, and again, the internal ammo goes off like a chain reaction. An anti-tank rocket launcher does the job. One precise shot to the side armor, and the blast tears through everything inside. These tanks and APCs are especially vulnerable because their ammo is stored in the crew compartment. No armored separation. That means one hit can take the entire vehicle and crew in seconds. Different methods, same result. A single well-placed strike and the entire machine is gone. That's the reality of modern warfare against outdated armor. In this scene, 2 Russian MTLBs were spotted parked in the ruins of a destroyed village. Ukrainian drone operators moved in, striking each vehicle multiple times, almost 5 hits per MTLB. Then, as the fire crept toward their ammunition storage, a massive explosion followed. The drone operator from the Shadow unit kept a close watch on a house where 2 Russian soldiers were hiding. Their movements were clear. They slipped from one room to another. The operator launched a direct strike, and the entire room erupted into a massive explosion. This strike proves the operator's skill goes far beyond disabling armored vehicles. One by one, Russian infantrymen are being hunted down and neutralized. A Ukrainian drone locked onto a Russian T-72B3 tank and delivered a direct strike, triggering a massive explosion that completely neutralized the target. Ukrainian drone operators spotted a Russian T-80 tank believed to have been manufactured in 2023. With precise control, the operator dropped an American-made M67 grenade straight into the open hatch. Bomb explosion. At first, there was only a small explosion, but within moments, the blast ignited a fire inside the tank. While there wasn't a massive detonation, the flames spread quickly, and soon the entire vehicle was engulfed, rendering it completely useless for combat. Ukrainian drone units aren't just targeting stationary or abandoned tanks. They're also striking moving convoys and groups of armored vehicles advancing toward Ukrainian territory. Here is an example. Ukrainian drone operators spotted a group of 5 Russian armored vehicles, including APCs, MTLBs, and tanks, advancing toward Ukrainian territory. The first strike destroyed the lead vehicle, forcing the other 4 to stop. Instead of moving forward, they attempted to reverse and retreat. As they pulled back, a second drone hit another vehicle. The crew of that vehicle managed to escape, and the soldiers from the remaining 3 abandoned their machines and ran toward their own lines. While these vehicles were not completely destroyed, they were left stranded in the open, an easy target for Ukrainian drones to finish off later. Several injured Russian soldiers were also exposed and were quickly neutralized one by one. A Russian armored vehicle was spotted parked in Ukrainian territory. The drone locked on and launched a direct strike. At first, there was only a small explosion. But once the fire reached the ammunition, the entire vehicle erupted in a massive blast. These are not just random explosions on a battlefield. Each one tells the story of how modern warfare has shifted. The Russian armed forces have long relied on their advantage in numbers: more armored vehicles, more personnel carriers, more infantry pushing toward Ukrainian territory. In the early stages, this meant long armored columns trying to punch through defenses, backed by artillery and heavy firepower. But the emergence of Ukrainian FPV drones completely rewrote the playbook. These small, fast, and precise drones can bypass the traditional layers of defense. They're cheap to produce, but deadly in the right hands. And in this war, they're not just in the right hands, they're in the hands of operators who know every inch of the terrain and every weak spot of a Russian vehicle. Instead of meeting a tank head-on with another tank, Ukrainian forces can send a drone skimming just meters above the ground, following the contours of the land, slipping through blind spots in Russian defenses. By the time the vehicle crew even realizes they're being hunted, the drone is already seconds away from impact. One hit to the right place, the ammunition compartment, the engine deck, or the exposed top armor, and the result is catastrophic. This shift in tactics forces Russian convoys to slow down, disperse, or travel under constant threat. Even heavily armored vehicles, which once felt untouchable, are now vulnerable from above. It's no longer about who has more tanks, it's about who can see first, strike faster, and disappear before the enemy reacts. For Ukraine, this means turning every road, every tree line, and every abandoned building into a potential launch site. For Russia, it means that moving forward requires constant reconnaissance, electronic countermeasures, and a level of caution that slows down offensives to a crawl. The battlefield has changed, not because of massive technological leaps in heavy armor, but because of small, affordable drones piloted with precision and intent. The result? A war where even the largest, most expensive vehicles can be taken out by something that fits in the back of a car,